I felt like a Spanish, like a Puerto Rican in this house.
Man, oh man. How we doing tonight?
Peachy.
Tonight we got a little Ezra Brooks.
Right on. That's that high proof stuff, ain't it?
Yeah, we only need one of these tonight. Whew, we've been sporting a little Modelo. We've had the grill going tonight.
Yep.
Man, I've really started enjoying the Mexican beers. I don't know. Modelo, both the Especial and Negro has been a good beer.
They're good beers.
Even Pacifico. Every once in a
Yep.
while I go to Pacifico. A little
Yep.
lime in it.
I'm not a huge Corona fan, though.
That's not, to me, that's more of like a, it's like a Tex-Mex, right?
Yeah.
You can eat a taco from, like an authentic taco versus a chimichanga
That's how
or
most of
a
the
Taco
Spanish-
Bell.
Most of the Mexican restaurants we have in
Yeah.
our town, it's Americanized.
It's just like a Corona is the
Salute.
Taco Bell of Mexican food.
Yes.
Whew, that was a good time right after a good swig of beer.
Yep.
So,
That was nice.
man, it's been a nice week other than some rainy weather.
Yeah, man. It's raining our weekends out. I don't like it.
I know we were able to make it through some baseball though, and
Yep.
we had games this week. We started our games this week for my team.
Yeah. We made it through a lot of baseball.
You and your group had a little bit of an outstanding performance, I'd say, coming out of in the tournament. Man, those boys were tired. They played hard to the end.
Yeah, it was like 14 or 15 hours of baseball. Long day.
My group, we played hard, man. We left the kids stranded on third, but they were having so much fun.
Yeah.
Like to see a team lose and have fun doing it.
Yeah.
Not that you enjoy losing, but like to
Well,
have
no.
that
Well,
spirit
it
of
beats
we enjoy the
everybody.
game.
It beats everybody holding their head down like they didn't do nothing. We just came here and got our asses whooped and it sucked. At least they was like, oh, that was a good time.
Yes.
So,
Well,
better way to take a loss.
cheers. Let's get this Ezra Brooks down and see how it flows. It's got a little bite to it. It's smooth.
Yeah, it's a little hot.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
So I've learned on whiskey, some whiskey advice. Never judge a sip of whiskey by the first sip.
Yeah,
always get a little bit on your tongue. Don't even think about it, and then take that next sip. When you take this next sip, it'll be a little smoother.
Everything deserves another
flows.
chance.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Man, I've gotten a lot of chances in
No
life.
doubt.
Hey, tonight, some micro moments that matter. That unnoticed magic in every day. I'm going to get a little emotional on us. We're going to dive into some personal things. Probably
Great.
won't get too deep on that one.
Great.
Talk about the art of shutting off. And I think we've talked a little bit in the past, cutting off, leaving things at work. But
Yeah.
want to go in a little bit different direction with that today. And number 3 here, I'm going to have some fun with this one, is that awkward, why are we so awkward at making friends as dads? And the older we get, like how awkward encounters with people are.
Yep.
So that's where the show tonight, kind of mixing it up
It's
a little
going to be a
bit.
fun one.
So I'm going to get into these micro moments, things that you don't think about.
Start us off.
This is, I'm going to get into the dad minds, but I've talked about this before. Men are compartmentalized. We have rooms that we can go into. We get angry or frustrated or excited. Like there's all this hallway of emotions that men's minds are in. As you walk down the hallway, you go in one room and you walk out and go into another room. My wife gets pissed. I can get angry at something and walk into that room, and then I can walk out of it and get into something else, and she's still wound up about it. Like hours later, she can be wound up about it still. But I'm like, that was like 5 hours ago. That was 20 minutes ago. 5 seconds ago.
Yeah.
And there's always that escape room. It's called the horny room, right? There's a little trap door behind every room
Yeah.
that we can go into.
It's a safe space.
So, but I'm going to go a little, I wouldn't say X-rated here, but as a guy, you have to flirt every day, all day long.
Is that it?
Well,
Is that what I'm not doing?
but it's getting a little jokey on this, but it's like how many times you smack your woman in the butt every time you see her bend over? You try to.
Yeah, that's
And if you don't do that, guess what happens?
no.
Are you mad at me? You don't like me anymore, right? You ever
No.
notice that? Like you could almost I almost did this as an excitement. Like, she doesn't know I did this, but I almost had like a science experiment where I said, "Hey, I'm gonna like smack her constantly throughout the day just to give her that attention." And she was a lot in better mood.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I put a little too much heat on mine. My old lady gets pissed sometimes.
You get built up with excitement and just.
Yeah, or just yeah.
But as a dad though, I look at it like we went to the theater, and our kids are getting older. We went and watched Minecraft this weekend, and
I heard some mixed reviews on that. Was it like? Oh,
it wasn't bad.
it wasn't a little too PG-14.
No, nothing worse than what they're going to see on YouTube on a typical day to day.
That's fair. Yeah.
Our kids are playing video games where the goal is to shoot and kill things.
Yeah, everything is very desensitized.
Yep. So, but one of the things about it, it's like he just kind of leaned up on my shoulder, just snuggled with me just for a minute. Nobody's watching.
No.
I got my one hand on the wife and the one hand on the kid's knee. It's like, dude, like I was in heaven.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why I enjoyed the movie so much, is because like I felt connected, just sitting there watching a movie with two people I love.
Sure.
It was just a moment.
I don't know. I think me and James passed the color in face. He's too damn big. It's like you're 110 pounds now. You're a burden to be leaning on me.
But did you ever walk in the door and he gives you the high five? You don't give him the high five, but and it's like
and whatnot. Yeah.
To me, those are those little moments.
Yeah,
we take for granted, and then like when that don't happen anymore, it's like, dang, it's just like that slap on the butt.
That'll probably be what humbles me, man, because I'm not an emotional dude. At least I don't think I am. My wife will probably tell you different, but I don't know, dude. I'm not the huggy feel. But no, you're right. I understand that one day I'll be like, man, I wish my little boy would give me a hug, but.
To me, it's those unplanned moments, right? Like where you don't force it, you don't expect it, but it just happens.
Sure.
Like just the randomness, like walking through the kitchen.
About dying off the waterfall. That's our emotional moments,
Oh, that's sort of the
Have
extreme.
I told that story on here?
I don't know if you've told it on here, but
I need to. That was a good one.
But if you want to jump into that,
yeah, sure. We got a waterfall real close to here, and there's all kinds of do not climb signs that's on it. But either way, when it's a dry spurt, there's not a lot of water. It's more like a trickle. Long story short, it's big shelves, 3, maybe 10, 12 foot tall shelves that make up the whole waterfall. And we're up on the first one and kind of leapfrogging the youngest one up. And it's a pretty easy climb, but the rocks are slick. I mean, they stay wet, algae and whatnot. And I done warned all 3 of them. Well, Knox is whatever, but be mindful where you're stepping. Be mindful. Just to paint a picture, we're up on the second shelf. Kendall has voted me and Jaden's on the third shelf. Kendall and Knox have voted to stay on the second one.
And you've already like walked across rocks getting up to it, where like, hey, these are slippery. There's moss.
Yeah,
especially when they stay dry and then they get wet.
I have voiced this 3-4 times to this point, and going to them damn kids don't ever listen. But so anyway, me and him's up there just kind of checking things out. The one stream of water that's running maybe 2 foot wide, but moving pretty fast, on slick rocks, fast enough to move you. And so I told him, I was like, be careful where you step. And I was thinking, man, I'm going to take a picture. And I'm not the take a picture guy. But for whatever reason, I pulled my phone up to take a picture, and out of the side eye, I just see Jaden's little fro disappear. And I look down, and he has done slipped into this little water, headed to the edge of the little 12-foot drop.
A moment of panic's going on right now, right?
Hardcore. And dropped my phone, slide down in there. He manned his big ass up, and I just kind of grabbed him somehow and just slung him, and he kind of slides up there. Well, now I get in the shitty situation, and I pretty much just traded places with him.
Right.
And I'm going towards the edge, but, I kind of managed to dig my claws in and stop myself. Well, then here comes Jaden's big ass and upstream coming down, and I ain't got a good grip.
Like, did he not get out, or was it
no,
that he just wasn't out?
When I slung him the first time, I didn't aim him good, I guess, because I think my plan is to throw him on the dry rock. But my throw just pretty much slide him back upstream. So anyway, he's coming back down. I had a good enough hold, I guess, to get him to that dry rock, and then I got myself to the dry rock, and then I get my phone and stuff. And I'm sitting on the edge of it. I think my toes were still in the water. And then everything kind of, okay. It's the everything slowed down in the moment. So now we're back on normal time. And Jaden's realizing, he was like, oh shit, that was almost really bad.
You
So,
about had a bad day.
well, he's having his emotions come, and the way that his emotions manifest was his scared was tears.
Right.
And,
Yeah, it's a
stuff.
lot.
Okay.
Overwhelmed you, I bet.
So I'm not the tear emotion. I'm the kind of anger side.
I fucking told you.
Yeah, well, a little bit. Yeah, that was. But so I mean, I'm shaking, just deep breaths, and I'm understanding that everything's good now. But I'm still just on 11. And Jaden starts apologizing, and I'm like, shut up.
Not right now.
I said, just go
Not today,
right there.
Junior.
I was like, give me a damn minute. So, but yeah, luckily though, the wife and little man was kind of out of shot, so they had no idea. And
They didn't even know what was going on.
No, I've got Kendall was like, well, what happened? What happened? I was like, just give me a fucking second. So just give me a fucking second. But yeah, we made it out of that one. So that's like the times when it's like, yeah, you know, I love you enough to not let you die. Right? That's pretty emotional.
See, I would call that a macro moment, right?
Maybe,
that was a big moment.
Big moment, I would think, yeah.
But at the end, you know, there's probably some trust there that it's like, hey, look, if I get in a bad situation, some trust got built that says, I'll be there for you, buddy.
He did give me a tearjerker like that next week or something. They had to write down. I don't even know what it was. Some shit for school. And it was, he told the stories. Like, the time my dad saved me from water. Yeah. And I was like, fuck.
That's
and
a lot.
Kendall like showed me, and then so
it's like this is you right here. I've got a little Lego knight.
yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Jaden's falling into the water, and you hear you come in the horse.
Yeah. So and it was funny too because so like everything calms down, and he starts questioning me. Not really questioning, but he kind of starts like picking away the day, and he's like, well, because I'm like, dude, I done warned you how dangerous things are. He's like, well, they're so dangerous, why are we doing them? I'm like, look, just because something's dangerous don't mean it ain't worth doing. And it's like, you're 9 years old, you climbed a waterfall. That's kind of cool. You know what I mean? If you was a Native American in 1600s, that might make you a fucking man. You know what I'm saying? So let's...
Definitely.
Yeah. And when you do dangerous things, you got to take the precautions and be careful so you don't get hurt.
So, you know, one of the things, like, I'm going to... Gosh, you say, here you are. That's like a heroic, you know, like story,
yeah,
you know,
so.
and it's, I'm over here like, well, my wife does laundry.
Yeah, no,
but you know, when I look at little things, you know, I don't give her credit for it, you know, and she just had a birthday this week. She's getting younger, and she's you know, there's a lot of little things, and you know, that's kind of what I shared with her in her birthday card. It's like, man, there's so much that she does, and like, and I think I sent her a message the other day. It was like, you do so much. You know, you have your skills and I have my skills.
Mm-hmm. They mesh
well,
right.
And we become a team. And you know, I will say that she does probably a lot more with like the kids. Like it's not that I'm not kid friendly. I love being with the kids.
No,
but there's a lot more things that she does that I recognize that. Hey, I'm not you know, they say women are programmed differently than men, right? And so like they just have more of a nurturer like mindset.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like, I'll throw you in the water and take you out of the water. Like I'll protect you from falling over the curb, but I'm not.
I'll watch you suffer a little bit, but I won't let you die.
But you know, it's like the way I wipe the snot off your face and the way your mom's doing it. It's two different things, right?
Sure.
So we have a different style, and she does. I would say she probably spends more of that frustrating time with the kids than I do. 100%. You know, I'm more like, just shut the hell up.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. No, I can nip off the bullshit real quick, but it's understandable. Like especially my wife is, you know. I kind of get it, you know. She's more willing to give in to the candy over the fit than I am because that's her 8th fit of the day versus my 1st or 2nd, you know. So it's easy to be like, hell no, on the 1st and 2nd, 3rd time versus the 10th or 12th time. So I can sympathize with it, but yeah, no, they're definitely different.
You know, and I look at two little moments like, you know, going on vacations and making these big memories are great.
Mm-hmm.
But the little things I think I'll look back on that I think I'm going to miss a lot, especially in the childhood stage, is like my daughter, you know, constantly she's like, when we do activities together, she's got this way of rewarding me, and it's like this little like she'll just randomly, I love you, Daddy, and it just melts you.
You know what I'm going to miss, man? And then I see it. And I can't relate to that necessarily because that seems like it's a girl thing. You know what I mean? So you probably got to have that, but. It's like Jaden's starting to get to the point where he's starting to see through my bullshit.
He's calling you out.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like so used to, he'd be like, how'd you know? You know, like, how'd you know I made a bad grade on this one? Oh, boy, I know everything.
Yeah.
That was the answer then. Now he's like, Dad don't know half of what he's
He was just BSing me.
Yeah.
Hey, I heard you made a bad grade.
And then like
he's just joking.
And he's seen me fail enough, like, you know, I don't know, just off the top of my head, like picking up something heavy. He's seen me fail at that to know that he's like, I'm not fucking Superman. Knox, however, still has the hero. So I'm going to miss the Dad's Superman when they see that I'm just a dude and that I'm not, you know, all that in a bag of chips.
You know, and you shared that story about like when you watch your dad pick up a tree.
Yeah.
Right. So you tie that to it.
Yeah. I mean, he could have been again 10 foot tall and green and purple shorts. You know what I mean? But now I'm just like, fuck, I can probably move that now too.
But you know, those little moments from say Knox and like the Kinleys at those younger ages, you know, mine's Kinley's 3, Knox is 2.
Yeah.
You know, it's like no matter how much you're failing, how bad your day can be.
I reached back and rolled his fucking window up through the seat, and he was like, "Thanks, Dad. Good job. I'm so proud of you." And I was like, "Yes, yes." You know.
And so when you're having a bad day or just shit's not going right, it's like those moments can make
those are nice.
They make and break your mood sometimes. They can reconstruct. Hey, I may be having a shitty day. You know, tariffs could be in place. All
and they
sorts
can
of
make
BS
a shitty
on.
day 100 times worse.
They
it goes
sure
both
can.
ways.
In a snap of a finger.
Yeah. Yeah. You come home, you're like, man, I hope he hugs me. I hope he's happy. And he's like, no, fuck you. Eat shit. Don't want you. Yeah. You're like, okay.
Do you ever feel like you're chasing like the next big thing or the next thing that you want and you feel like it makes you miss the beauty of all this little stuff that goes on around us?
Every day. Yeah. No, as I'm always like to the next big project or to the next big milestone in my life, and then all that in the middle seems like it's just a gray area. It's like I go on autopilot until it's time to fucking grab the controls and steer the ship.
You know, I think back on like, you know, I've shared with some work, you know, I used to put I dedicated a lot of time to work.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that work's not important. I mean, you got to have work to pay for what you want and support
you can
your
overindulge
family.
in work too, man.
But it's, you know, when you at the end of the day, you know, I can share that philosophy that, you know, if I died today, my job posting's probably going to be up before the dirt's put over my casket.
Well, it's got to be. It has to be. Balls got to go.
Balls
got to roll.
You know, I work for a great company, so that, you know, they may have some more time in there, but you know, as soon as something happens to me, there's going to be the contingency in it. And I've got a guy I work with or work for that's put some perspective into things on having people prepared. Where it's like, you know, you've got to have, if the next person to take your spot's not being trained today actively to where when you're out or gone, they can't step up and do it, then you're not doing it right.
We're doing this similar thing is being taught to me too as we speak. And I mean, and that just comes in handy for you really too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you get the stomach virus and you're on the toilet shitting for 3 days.
Somebody's got to step in.
But if you ain't got that dude, then you're coming back 3 days. You still feel a little rough. You got the bubble guts, and now you got to catch up on a week's worth of stuff and get ready for next week too. Yeah.
Which I know I'm going way off topic on in a rabbit hole here, but you know, so that's part of those things we get into at work. To, you know, some of that you know, contingency planning. So that we, you know, I look to say how does that contingency planning work to make sure that the team's successful, because it's not just about the job, it's about the people.
Yeah.
You know, you want to take care of the people around you, and they've got lives and they've got families. You don't want people to fail, so you put energy and effort into it.
Yep.
So you put all this into what you do, and you I take a lot of pride into it. And but sometimes it's like it's so easy to get off track and lost into that you forget that there's a whole family here that worships the ground you walk on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and try to make sure there's balance to not lose those moments.
Yeah. Well, and then, and it makes you, it probably is like a real ego pride too when you realize that, because I'm guilty of it too. When I've noticed the pattern is like when I realize I'm pouring a little too much into the families that I don't necessarily know, and then neglecting a little bit of my own, I'm like, man, you're a piece of shit. So, you know what I mean? I'll kind of fall off the cliff there on my side. So that snaps me back most of the time.
Mm-hmm. There's too, it's like, you know, working with people, I try to like, I think sometimes like, man, like I'm harder on my own son, and then it's like that I'm soft on the other people, but it's like, I love my son and I don't want him to fail, but it's like, well, I don't want the people that work for me to fail either. It's like, you know, like maybe being hard is okay sometimes. And
How about in football when Jaden I had a breakdown in practice and was like, I had to stop the truck because I was like, "What's wrong?" And he's like, "Nothing." I'm like, "Okay, come on, dude. What's wrong?" He's like, "Nothing. I don't want to talk about it." I slammed it in park, and I'm like, "We ain't moving till you do. What's up?" And he was like, "Well, I just want to know why you're harder on me than you are the other kids." I'm like, "Well, it's because I expect more." And I went through a big old long spiel. I expect more out of you. You know what I mean? I'm not their dad and this and that. And he was like, "Well, I ain't never one time seen you whoop one of them other kids." I'm like, "Damn it, son." I was like, "I can't just go snatching folks' kids up." I was like, "That's not how shit works."
Yeah.
I was like, "You're my kid. I'm allowed to spank you."
You know, man, that's tough. Like, discipline on the football field. That's we could probably make a whole topic on that.
It's
but-
hard. I think it's harder for the parent to discipline the kid. It's easy for a coach to do it because the coach only has one objective. It's like, you're going to follow X rules, and this is the punishment. And the punishment is bear crawls, running, push, whatever, exercise.
One thing I noticed about youth sports, it's really hard on the kid that has a dad that coaches.
Yeah.
And it's not so much the other coaches. Like, there can be 7 or 8 coaches on a team.
Mm.
And the
Well,
others,
it's hard to distinguish from dad to coach. It's like, oh, he wants me to do this because that's what he said. No, he wants you to do this because it benefits the team. And if you're dad, it's like, what goal are we after? It's hard to set that. But if you're a coach, you got one goal. And if you're a dad, you've got one goal.
Yeah.
There's no mixing the two.
I've seen a few dads that'll pull their kid off to the side and just like, by the end of it, they're crying. And I think a lot of it, even for me, like I've seen, it's like, I don't want my kid to be the one that's weak or that can't do it or can't do this or can't do that. And so you get aggravated, and how I always go back to the expectation and emotion, right? Mm-hmm. Your expectation is that your kid's going to perform equal to or better than average. I'm not going to say be the best, but somewhere average or above, right? Never below average.
That's where you would like them to be.
Yep. And there's, my kid's not the fastest.
No.
And so I have to swallow that ego when I see the kids running across the field. And it's like, my kid's like, he doesn't know how to run. Yeah. And it's like, "Hey, Lucas, let me teach you how to run." And he gets mad at me trying to teach him how to run. Yeah. And then he gets frustrated at me. Well, then I get frustrated at him because he's not wanting to listen.
And then it just spirals. Yep. Yeah.
And then it's at the end of it, it's like, "Hey, that hurt. It's okay to be emotional about being hurt, but no, crying is for like 2-year-olds. This is, you're overreacting." And then you get upset because like now all the parents on outside the fence are looking at you.
Yeah. Well, so like it was funny because last night Jaden, great hit ball. He was playing right field. Looks at. I'm going to tell everybody he lost in the light, just out of respect for my boy. But anyway, so he's walking around today with a big old fat lip, and he hit the ground, missed the ball, hit the ground, holding his lip, whatever. He hit him in the face, and the ball goes rolling. Runner's running, and first comment I remember making, I was like, "It better be bleeding." Like, it better be. So anyway, everything,
because it's not like him to like take it.
Not
like the
really,
ball's behind
dude.
him, and he gave up on it.
Yeah,
because his mind was shut off. I'm not playing baseball
He's like,
anymore.
"Oh shit, I just took one to the teeth."
You've got kids running the bases. The coaches are going to right field because they never see him sit down like that. Yeah.
So, but it was funny though because the head coach, he comes over there or whatever, and I heard him. He was like, "It was bleeding on the inside." And I was like, "Okay, we're good." I was like, as long as there was blood, like we'll take that one.
What cracked me up is like, all right, they put him back at catcher, and it's like, "Hey, put the mask on, so now you want to get hit anymore."
Yeah, and I was telling him that when he was gearing up, I was like, "Now you're home, buddy. Now you're home. This is what you do. You're a catcher. This is what you do."
So so even for me, as like as a friend, parent, I don't know what you would call like some people call uncle. I'm not an uncle, but sure. you create those type of relationships.
Yeah, man.
And it's like the coach / just, hey, good opportunity out there. But like I seen the technical stuff of what happened. It's like, dude, I know where it went wrong. And
so, dude, Jaden he put so much pressure on himself. I'm probably to blame for a lot of it because I preach that strive for perfection, but understand you're not going to be perfect. Which I think he takes to the extreme. It's you know what I mean? But whatever, we'll take what we get. So, like, whenever he knows there's a play in his way, he's like, I think he's thinking about that. Gotta be perfect, gotta be perfect, gotta be perfect. Which is okay. I don't hate it.
And then to mess up, though, does he beat himself up, though, when he fails?
Sometimes. But he is quick to let shit go. So, I'm just going to let it pan out. I'm not going to elaborate on it at all. Yeah. I kind of like the direction it's going. You're hard on yourself when you do fuck up, which is good. Mm-hmm. I think it's great because, I tell all the people that's above me and stuff at my current job and in the past, I'm like, look, man, when I screw up and you're about to come chew my ass, there's a good chance that I've already done all of that for you. You know what I mean? I'm not going to get no lower than I am by the time I'm in your office and you're telling me what I did wrong.
Which, this kind of goes into segment 2 here, but, we start cutting off. But, like, when you think about baseball, like, that's the hardest part about baseball is a game of failing. You know?
It was either you or somebody. It's like, it's a constant array of fuck-ups. You're not judged off of all the balls you hit. You're not judged off all the outs you get. You're not judged off you're judged by the errors. It's like, oh, yeah, he had all this, and that, and 10 runs, and then, pitched a perfect game, but he has 6 errors.
Yeah, when you look at the stats, it's all the measurement of error. And
even
how many bad things you
builder
did,
quote.
how many runs that they scored against you, how many,
There's a lot of philosophy in it that I didn't understand.
But, baseball, and that's what I tell the kids, man. It's like, you're going to screw up. Mm-hmm. Like, it's guaranteed. Like, it's really what you do after you fail is what makes you a good player or not a good player. Like, if you screw up and, that was a bad throw, my arm hurts, or you blame everybody else, like, okay, nobody's going to want you as a teammate.
I felt my ankle roll. That's why I missed a step. So I'm going to go do fucking, I'm going to go do stair squats. To strengthen my ankles.
I hear this a lot. Not, it's like my glove was too small.
Baseball is really the perfect sport for my motto. You strive for perfection and just understand that ain't going to happen.
Never going to get there.
But that's always the goal. You know what I mean? You're that way. It just gives you something to continuously chase. You're never going to be perfect, so continuously have that hunger and chase that. That's what I want in everything you do. Fuck baseball, but that's this long. It's the big picture for me.
So going to this next one, the art of shutting it off. How to leave. We talked about this in some other segments. Like clearing your head, leaving work at work, but like.
Easy.
Drink it down.
Yeah. Be a man.
Yeah, I struggled to shut down. I don't know how. Are you easy to shut down? Like you hit the pillow and you're out? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like I'm jealous of those who can just lay their head down and snooze.
Unless it's a unresolved thing. If I have an unfinished day, boy, and it fucks me up. Oh, it fucks me up bad. I'm the dude sitting there watching the ceiling fan counting it. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, well.
I've never had success with counting sheep. Like I get pissed off and I'm like, okay, how high do I count before like I'm still fucking awake? It's like you get over 100 sheep jumping over your head and you're just like, fuck this. Where's the shotgun at? Let's take some of these motherfuckers out.
No, I don't know. It's not like it's sometimes I think I'm a little on the spectrum, Cody. Yeah. It's like the way I think. I could have
probably told you that.
Yeah, no, what's that? That's like the lack in empathy thing, and that seems like something I've got, and then my mind going in 50 directions. That seems like a thing. Maybe I'm a little what's on whatever it is. I don't know.
Yeah, see, I have to be careful here in this next part because this morning I don't know. I've been getting a lot of Ralphie May show up in my.
Ralphie May was the man, dude.
And today's reel that I ran across was a clip about how Ralphie May got canceled because he used the R word.
No. Yeah.
So you start going on the spectrum, and the R word episode of Ralphie May pops in, and
hey, Ralphie was the man. Rest in peace, Ralphie.
What was the clip I sent the other day? It was
he was talking about flirting with your old lady.
Yeah, so I think kind of that's where that
meat sneaking out the back. Yeah,
and it's like
Ralphie's good people.
Like, what do you want for your birthday? He's like, guys, I can tell you what he wants for his birthday. Or women, I can tell you what I want for his birthday.
Yeah. You need to look up his joke about taking his son into the elevator with the America's Next Top Models. That was the shit.
I have to look that
good.
one up.
It was funny.
But, I hate seeing some of these comedians like him. And, which, he was pretty overweight. Like, that doesn't surprise me.
No.
But he owned it.
Yeah, no. Well, he owned it good. But, like, that was his drug kind of thing. And like you was talking, on our other subject, is it don't have to be a drug or a substance that you overindulge in. People overindulge in work all the time, and it ruins them. So balancing everything.
Yeah, you're talking about. I get a lot of overstimulation too. Yeah, that's getting not erotically, but like noise. Man, noise is bothering me. Like our kids, our little kids run around the island with these like shopping carts and strollers and buggies. Yeah, it annoys the shit out of me.
Yeah.
And you're probably sitting there like, well, we sitting at the dinner table and the kids are having a great time.
There's some shit I can like tune out, but no, I can relate to the noise thing. It's like
I wonder if I'm being too much.
No, the iPads and stuff too. Like you said you had a good thing that you said a few episodes back about the quiet iPad. So they either learn to read the captions, but I can't have 3 fucking TVs going. You're humming. Brothers bouncing a basketball. Oh,
I know this segment's the art of shutting it off. When I hear your kid's iPad, I want to teach you the art of shutting that shit off. Yeah. I do not like hearing your kid's tablet.
We had a babysitter last night that spent the night with us, a relative, and she's a blessing. Thank you very much. But like she's carrying Knox around, and he's got his tablet and stuff, and it's like on max. Mm-hmm. So she leaves, and I'm like, see her off, and put her bags in her trunk. I'm like, bye, I love you. Go in there, and I'm like,
volume down.
Oh, sorry, cuz.
Like dinner. Like I don't get bothered by kids watching tablets but the audio level, like I don't understand like full blast.
Yeah.
And like there's some kids like you're in a public space.
Well, I don't know. I'm a pretty firm believer that a child's to be seen, not heard.
It's
that's
not
either in the Bible or somebody told me that, one of the two. But it sounds real good.
But and it sounds funny. There's a taco place I go to a lot, and I feel like every time I go in there,
that's a good place.
There's always somebody in there listening to their phone on full freaking blast. Mm. I'm like, we're in a public restaurant. You're not a child. Cut your shit down. Like I don't want to hear your news story or your YouTube video that you're watching. If you're listening to my podcast, be
respectful and put it to your ear like everybody else.
It's like if you're listening to my podcast, it's okay to turn it up. But if you're listening to anybody else's, turn it down.
I wouldn't recommend that either. If you're listening to this in a public space, you might want to have some earbuds.
What's the trick to telling someone, how do you, hey guy, hey man, you're a little loud.
Grow the fuck up.
So even knowing, what bugs the shit out of me in the movie theater?
Huh?
Turn your freaking phone brightness on all the way up. Yeah. You know what? That's like the you got your volume up, and you go to the theater where it's dark, and then like some asshole like on the second row has their phone brightness still turned all the way up, and on the top row all you can see is this bright white. Like we're watching the Minecraft movie, and you see this guy like scrolling through social media or whatever. Like, hey, you're there with your kid.
Yeah,
cut your phone. At least cut the brightness down.
Well, I don't know, dude. That's an addiction in itself. It's just the screen time. I get drug into those reels, but you bet your ass I pay $20 to get into the movies. I'm watching the movie.
I don't want to be bothered by it.
No.
Like, there's a woman that was sat in front of us. Like, she took like 500 selfies. My kid was in half of them. So, like, if I Google search his image and he shows up on Facebook somewhere, I can figure out who the woman was. But, and I know what your passcode to your phone is, by the way, because I've seen your daughter put it in so many times. But it, like, I don't know, man. Like cell phones and theaters, it's. And there's one kid that recorded the movie, and my wife's like, "Why is he recording it?" And he didn't even have it turned like
that
wide.
Kid's going to jail.
He had it turned sideways. After the movie, I'd be like, "Hey, buddy, I'm gonna confiscate your phone."
Yeah,
that's a federal crime.
Yeah, piracy. Look at you go.
You gotta put that preview back up. But I'm like, who in the fuck wants to watch somebody's phone version of a video that's going to come out in 3 weeks on streaming, and it's moving like every time he breathes, all you hear is you don't really hear the theater movie.
I have heard that there are some pretty good quality ones.
Yeah. But you put a tripod in the cup holder at least.
Yeah.
They're like $6 on Amazon.
Put some effort into it, damn it.
Like I don't like your phone's sitting on your dick and you're recording it,
Yeah. That's funny. That's funny.
So anyway,
you can see the people's head down there at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, there used to be a TV show.
You get an occasional.
You hear Lucas doing that, and then the rattling of the wrapper. You know what I don't understand? Like, so fucking movies I spent more money on popcorn and soda.
Movies are expensive, man.
And so it's like, hey, look, Lucas wants
Everything
a candy.
is.
I'm like, okay, get a candy. But it's like, is it just as cheap to get 2 candies? So I was like, get 2 candies. So we're trying to figure out what candy to get.
You should have done the American thing and bought your candy at the damn Dollar Tree.
I meant to.
Like everybody else,
I meant to. Or just say, eat the fucking popcorn.
Dude, it's not American to pay and not try to fuck the system, okay?
Right.
You gotta put the effort in.
So then here's the kicker. So the wife picks out the Kit Kats. It's like, I wanted something chocolatey. Like he got like the sour candy. We got buttery popcorn. It's like, I want some chocolate. Okay, get the chocolate candy. So she got the Kit Kats because Kinley loves Kit Kats. Well, we get the Kit Kat and I open the corner of it to get some of it out, and I'm thinking it's the little pieces. No, it's individually wrapped Kit Kats inside of a wrapped bag. So not only do you hear the noise of
and now you got to hear it again.
Yes.
On a smaller scale.
It's like it's all you get all the you're in there playing footsie with
Yeah,
me, man.
my bad.
You get the shh of the preview of being like, don't turn your phone, don't distract people, but go buy candy and Coke and hear the rattle. Like that bugs me.
Spend more money.
Yeah, but to be fair, they do put like 35, 45 minutes of previews. So by the time you get to the previews, all your popcorn's eaten.
Yeah, and you're full of fucking salt and thirsty as hell. Yeah, so you need a refill and another popcorn. Yeah.
So, anyways, so you shut down easy. What's your choice of like? How do you disconnect when you come home from work? Like, what's your disconnect? What shuts you down? You go home and just pop the bottle open.
Raging alcoholic. No, man. I don't know. A little drinky poo helps, but it really depends on my day, dude. Like I said, I'm borderline bipolar or something or another. So, like, if I had a real good day at work, man, I don't need to come home and wind down. I can pick right up, and if it's good weather, we can go throw the ball. We can screw off outside till it gets dark, and then by then, I'm kind of tempered down. But on a bad day when I got a lot of shit on my mind and this and that, and it's rainy and you're getting cabin fever already, and you ain't been home an hour or whatever, I don't. I'm just fucking on the edge and a nervous wreck the whole time. Like, I need to be doing something. So
I think that's like during the winter. Like I'm kind of the same way. The winter kind of sucks because like I want to go outside and do something with light.
Yeah, man, that's a white people thing, dude. Did you know that? I swear to God.
No other colored people like to go out and do stuff.
No other colored people have vitamin D deficiencies.
I got you going there. Okay.
It's fucking science, dude. It's what or it's our skin, fucking melanin and vitamin D and lack of.
Yeah, I always get like aggravated. I always feel guilty to come home and mow the yard. Like, I come home and mowed this week. Mowed the weeds, and it's like I felt guilty.
Yeah. That
I'm doing something for the household. And then like the women get together like, yeah, he just goes and mows so he doesn't have to take care of the kids. And I'm like,
no, we do podcasts for that.
This is us getting away. Yes.
Yeah, we do podcasts.
But I go bust my ass at work. I come home and it's like sometimes like I've already gave up on just sitting in the recliner enjoying peace and quiet. Like that doesn't happen.
No,
that doesn't
exist.
Nope.
So unless you beat them home for some reason. Ain't that the shit?
It's awkward, isn't it?
The fuck?
You sit at home and there's nothing going on. It's like, it's not normal.
I'm like, dude, I got home and she's like, she's like, just leaving Walmart. And I'm like, fuck, 27 minutes.
You come home and you're snoozing.
Not necessarily. Yeah, but no, I'm in that recliner, dude.
I've tried to find some hobbies to like, and again, I've really like had to postpone some of these hobbies because like with kids, it's like I can't go out in the wood shop because then I'm not here to help. Like I tried to do some cabinetry work.
Yeah.
You can go outside and it's like if you're not doing a chore, it's like you're a shitty dad. Like
I had to justify my hobbies with making money. You know what I mean? I found myself doing that like with my little wood business, my little side hustle or whatever I do. Splitting firewood.
The kids get involved with that too, so you do get them to
help.
But
yeah, but it's it kills a lot and makes a little spending money.
Mm-hmm.
Keeps me busy, keeps me working hard, which is probably good exercise because God knows I'm not going to the gym. Well, it's not in the fucking ever in the scope of things. And then it's like, well, at this point we're kind of reliant on it. Well, not necessarily, in a sense, like Christmas and whatnot. So it's like, hey, I gotta go split wood. Right. No, I got to.
Now, not to go like religious, but I'm gonna poke on like. We used to go to church a lot, and I grew up going to church. Again, this isn't saying church is good or bad. I'm not getting into that aspect of it, but just going in the conversation of like I used to do church a lot, and Sundays are like a day to relax and recharge. Yeah. And like I felt like it was almost too much work, and I feel guilty that my kids aren't like going and seeing the church an aspect of understanding and learning some of that. Because and again, I'm getting a touchy subject here. But religion can bring a lot of good.
There's nothing
things.
bad that's going to come from it.
Unless you date the preacher's daughter, but
Yeah.
But but no, I'm
But as far as like going to church, but
Yeah.
I think I know what you're talking about. It's like the times I've been to church, I grew up going a little bit here and there, and I need to go more than I do. But
see, I always got into like doing things. Like I become like the soundboard operator.
that's my thing. Is like, I see these people who are like so and so. Brother Timmy over here is the lead production coordinator, and I'm like, dang, cuz. You got a 9 to 5 too, just like I don't have the capacity for that though. So I think
I kind of burned myself out of it.
Different strokes for different folks, man.
But I also can't just sit there and not do anything. I feel guilty just showing up.
That's the churchgoer I am. I'm the dude that'll pay his tithes. Don't talk to me because I don't have the social space for another person in my life. You know what I mean? I'm here to hear what I got to hear, and then we'll take it back to the house and do our own thing. But I don't know. I definitely see how it can be overwhelming because it's like, okay, what do you do Saturday night? Well, I'm prepping for my Sunday meetings, and then what are you doing on Tuesday night? Well, I'm prepping for my youth club on Wednesdays, and it's like, man,
I respect those that do that. Like
absolutely, much respect.
Like preachers, man. Like we put we don't put as much effort in the podcast preparation as what like a preacher would put into like Sunday morning.
I hope they have the express ticket. You know what I mean? I hope they got the full membership to go to the front of the line when it comes.
It's a lot of work
because I'm not that guy to do it.
I don't think preachers get some of the respect that they
deserve. Dude, I can't help you on this podcast more no more than this right here. I'm just
you put your time in, like you pay your time.
Yeah, dude. It's but I do what I can. I'm just not that guy. I'm not the guy that can have the 5 different things going on and this and that. It's like I tell everybody, it's like buying my wife's engagement ring without her finding out while we live together with joint bank accounts made me question how has any man ever pulled off the 2-family thing or what the fuck are you doing? It's
like I struggle to get alone time. Like, and I'm going to talk about some alone time here. Like how do you get alone time? And like you talking about, hey, I got home early, right? But you going home early is like the only way you get like, hey, this is my quiet time. This is my time.
Yeah. If you're lucky, she's at the grocery store
right.
or something.
And like how I don't go fishing very often.
No, we need to. We're missing the spring, Cody.
I know. Like I have missed a lot of opportunities to go fish.
It's pissing me off.
But like, how much guilt do you feel going to fish? Like, is it one of those things because I need to get up earlier and come home earlier,
I feel this much guilt. If you want to go fishing, let's go. You should have been up when I got up. That's not.
And I think that's where I have to balance. Like I do get a lot of guilt. Like my wife doesn't go and do alone things. Other than like she's off on like she'll do half days on Friday.
I love what I love? Well, you got to drive 2 hours through the forest to get home. That was your alone time. Oh, shit, was it? I forgot to fucking pencil
That's
that in.
That's not alone time.
I was trying to get this fucking 50.
You're worried about this 50 trailer behind you.
I got a 15-foot trailer. I got customers on my line. I've got this and that. Yeah, no, I just took a 2-hour drive through government land on fucking willy-nilly because I just, penciled it in and had the time to do so.
But yeah, it's tough. Like, and I think every one of us feel. There's some guys though that they spend their whole weekends, their parents and their wives and their kids are like, yeah, this is what he does. Like he just does it. Like their mindset is as a dad is just, hey, if the bills are paid and you got a place to eat, sleep, and a place to eat, and food's on the table and it's getting cooked, don't bitch at me. I'm gonna go do what I want to do. I'm doing my duty. There's a part of being present, which that's kind of like the whole first segment.
I'm not that guy either. You know what I mean? I am, but I ain't. Saturday, I'm like 6 a.m. I'm up. I do get a little alone time in the mornings.
But you make that time. You have to. If you stay up late,
I'm sacrificing sleeping in versus getting up and watching TV
and that's
by
part of
myself
discipline,
for an
right?
hour or two.
You can. Hey, whether you stay up tonight and drink, or go home and go to bed early, you're going to get up at a certain time because you're disciplined to get up that time, and that's how you make your time, right?
Yep. So I do get a little alone time on the weekends, like an hour or two in the morning, but I'm sitting there waiting on them to get up. Hey, what are we going to do today?
If you ask Ashley, when's your alone time? It's when I go take a shit in the morning. Like I shut the door. Nobody wants to be in there. That's my time. I get up an extra hour early just to do it. Don't bitch about it. That's my time.
Yeah.
Nothing's stopping you.
Yeah.
Now she does take care of the kids half that time, so I can see that point.
Yeah.
But no. Anyway, I want to go into something a little funny here, and I was talking about this at work. I see it everywhere you go. There's an awkwardness of meeting people, not just as an adult. You know, like I walk by people at work all the time, and it's like a plan of mine to be like, "Hey, good morning, how are you?" And I force people to look at me eye to eye.
Yeah.
I want you to make contact. I want to be social. And so many people they don't want to look at you. They don't want to talk to you. They just want to walk, and they want to be like closed in.
Yeah.
But making friends and meeting people as a dad or just a person in general, the older you get, seems to be just awkward now.
Yeah, no, well, I don't know, man. You're not wrong, but it's like you're so on top of the fence because I'm a lot like you. I can walk into a room full of strangers and I can find somebody I can jive with. May never talk to the fucking guy. I may leave. We may jive for 4 hours and then I leave and be like, that guy's fucking weird. You know what I mean? But I don't know. It's like I think once you've walked a few different paths in life, that you kind of start to realize that everybody's different, dude. Me and you are almost daylight and dark different. We have a lot of similarities, but we're different. You're very organized. You know what I mean? You've
seen my house, right?
But you're
I'm unique. I'm gonna put it that way.
Yeah, but you're an organized type of dude. You're a very, like how everything needs to kind of be structured out and planned out. I fly by the seat of my pants, and my mama told me that I'd never be able to do this
You don't
for the rest
know
of
me
my
very
life.
well.
Well, no,
you go on a vacation with me, and it's fly by wire.
Well, that's what vacations are for. I can't stand a fucking itinerary. Don't tell me I got to be somewhere at a certain time when I'm on vacation, man.
But I feel like our friends that we create are a lot around who our kids and their events are surrounded.
It's got to be, dude, because you live for them, man. You ain't living for you no more once you have youngins.
Like my old drinking buddies,
Yeah.
my old buddies who
I
grew up
go
with.
have you a kid. Fuck what you got going on. Fuck what you thought you was going to do.
I don't have a lot of time for them anymore.
You can't.
I've got some really close friends. My buddy KO, like, man, like I love the guy.
Sure.
He busts his ass at work.
Yeah.
I do my thing at
and
work.
if you called him and he did answer, y'all probably talk like you never skipped a lick.
Man, we see each other and there's no hard feelings. Like, hey, I ain't seen you in 3 months, 4 months.
I get it. I got a good buddy Trey, man. We very rarely talk. Very rarely talk. I got off into a bottle one weekend. Was in my feelings or whatever. I was like, hey, buddy, need a friend? And boom, he was on the phone.
I was like, if I need him, he'll show up for me.
Yeah.
Same for me. He knows that if he needed me, and it's it's not just every time you need somebody. He doesn't always call me for everything. Like, you got different people for different things, right?
Yeah.
We don't hang out all the time, but by God, if he needed something, he knows that he could trust me to show up.
But if his kid and your kids seen each other and practiced each other 4 out of 7 days a week, y'all probably be a hell of a lot
different
closer.
relationship. Yeah,
sure.
Your time starts circling around those common things, and
if you move to the same community and or you work together, or he contracted under this person, it would be different.
Which I'm gonna bring him on the show. I think he'll make a great
bring him on. Love to meet him.
Yep. So I feel like our circle of friends really focuses around who our kids are around, and as we get into sports, or hell, here pretty soon my kid's a nerd. He's gonna turn into math teams and all that other stuff. It's all gonna change. So you want a little something else there?
Splash off. In there. But yeah, no, dude. There's no telling either on camera or off camera one. But you've mentioned it seems like about every 5 years.
I think like 5 to 7 years, your circle changes.
Yeah, and then my lifetime, it's either been due to job or family is what it pretty much revolves around.
Now think about when you were a kid. Like, do you remember what it was like making friends as like a younger kid, middle-aged kid?
Yeah, I tried too hard. That was my problem, so it made me awkward, I think. But now that I'm an adult, is where I don't relate to this. Let me get on the other side. I don't have the awkward because nothing's awkward to me because
no, you realize what to give a shit about and what not to give a shit about.
Yeah, and and then like with the different walks of life, man, dude, I've slept in houses with roaches and I've slept in houses with fucking fine china, And I've dined with both, and I've broke bread with both walks of life, and the ones in between, dude. So I get it.
See, and I think it's where we like share similarities. Like I remember, going to a buddy's house and be like, dude, he's got roaches everywhere. I wasn't like, fuck this, I'm out of here. Like, like I'm too good for this.
Yeah, we might have had some cheap ass food, but we didn't have bugs. You know what I'm saying? We might have had a set of rouse trap for a rat or 2 rats, but this motherfucker's got 50 of them in the walls, and you can hear them.
Yeah.
So my point is like once you understand that and you've lived through those things, it's like I can get it why you're a little weird towards not eating this kind of food, or why you fucking choose to hole up in one room. I mean, whatever, dude. To each is his own. I have no judgment on nothing.
So I do like social. I'm gonna say it's a social experiment. But like, so when we went on a trip to Kentucky, I took my family with me for work, and then we broke off of that and went out and did. We went to this natural forest. They had a lot of really cool natural. Like when they say natural, like they have the, like they use tree stumps to set up as like things to jump on and jump off, or they made trees into poles with pegs in them so kids can climb and make an obstacle course. Like they use natural, like instead of getting like a metal frame playground, it's all made out of wood and natural and things.
I like it.
And so like Lucas comes out there and like we start making, playing on it, doing things. And like, so I'm curious. I'm like, how is he going to interact with these kids he has no idea with? And when they get out there and they get in that moment and that mode,
they're just a regular fucking kid, dude.
You know, they're just being kids. And it's like, you look at how they do it, and then you go, imagine you and I going and walking into a random place. What do you think we're all going to do?
Have you ever been to a heavy metal concert?
Not
heavy metal. Let me just like a rock, like harder rock.
Like 3 doors down is probably the hardest,
I would say probably a little harder than 3 doors down. But my point is,
like a Rob Zombie type concert I've not been to.
Yeah, so like Korn or something. So that type of metal, whatever the genre is. Sorry if you like it, but I love it. But anyway, it's like in that crowd of people, you're going to have some from abused homes, like the stereotypical people. And then you're going to have some people from some like rich homes who's just like, I'm angry and bottled up. And then you're going to have this person with this story who can relate to it and this and that. So that's like the adult version of a kid at a playground. Oh, shit, there's stuff to climb on. We're just going to be a kid. And then there's the adult versions of like, hey, there's people from all over the country. There's people from all different walks of life, and we're all jiving to the same thing. You know what I mean? So it's like whatever vibe's there, I don't have the awkward stuff because if you're a little awkward, I can carry the conversation. And if it's too much, then I'm fucking also disciplined enough or whatever enough to walk away from it and be like, okay, you ain't my person. That's cool. So I don't know. I don't really have awkward moments.
See, I'm so torn. Like I've got you've got vulnerabilities that you have to look at and trust that you got to build. But at the same time, it's like I meet people all the time. And I'll talk and I'll be friendly with anybody. Yeah. But becoming friends with them, that's a different story.
Well,
right?
It's not what your definition of a friend.
Right. You got drinking buddies. You got friends.
Sure. You got the guy that you can call on at 2:00 in the morning, be like, "Hey, dude, I really fucking need you to get out of bed." You know what I mean? Like, I need you now in 15 minutes. Let's go.
So, like, I've got a neighbor. I don't know if he's still my neighbor anymore, but our kids go to daycare together. Mm-hmm. And I tried to have a conversation with him. I think he's already forgot who I was. Like, I've only met him like a few times.
Well, the truth is, dude, he don't give a fuck. Like, I don't give a fuck.
I think that's the thing. It's like,
do you know the Dunbar number?
The what?
The Dunbar's number. Mm-mm. Look into it. So, like, I don't know this. I'm not smart enough to talk about it. There's this dude, something or another. His last name is Dunbar or something. He pretty much figured out that you can have X amount of people who is your, say, inner circle. And that's what your brain can compute. Mm-hmm. A human brain really can't compute no more than that, whatever that number is. It's like 20 or something. And then you have your middle group, which is like 100 to 300 or whatever it is. And then you have your outer group, which is just pretty much like people that you've come across a few times. Your Facebook friends, most of them. So like, it's human instinct or whatever is your limits as a human to only socialize with a small group. You don't have the capacity to do all that shit.
That's a good way to look at it.
You don't.
You know, it's like I've got 1,000 Facebook followers, right?
You don't know 1,000 people personally. You
But-
don't have 1,000
But I
contacts
run
in your
into,
phone.
I see 1,000, I see some of those 1,000 people going out. Like I went out to lunch, I
And
ran
they don't
across
give
two
a
of
fuck
them.
about you.
And it's a mere hello and
vice
how you
versa,
doing?
yeah.
And then there's some of them. It's like if I wouldn't have said hello to that person,
They would not have known who you were.
like they showed up to my birthday party as part of a part with another guest, but it was like,
Which was probably out of respect for the time
Yeah.
where they did know you in that time in their life.
and it's like, hey, how's it going? It's like, oh, you know, like people are afraid to initiate the hello.
That's weird to me.
Is it? You know what I mean?
It's
Like
fucking strange to me. It's foreign.
it's like if I didn't say hello to probably 80% of the people I say hello to, we would just look at each other.
I'm
And
also
then
the
there's-
guy that flips the dude off that don't wave back as I drive by. Like if I wave and I know you see me, I'm like, oh, fuck you, dude. You know?
But you know, then it's like I don't want to feel fake. Like, so the guy I bought my tractor from, like the guy owns a business, right? And
Yeah.
he doesn't know me, but like I did business with him, but he knows me. Like I walk into the store, he's like, "Hey man, like how's that working out for you?" You know,
And
is
that is
issue.
strictly a business relationship
Yeah.
on his side of things.
So today he's walking out of Publix and I didn't see him till the last minute, but like I didn't go out of my way to be like, "Hey man, what's going on?" Because then I feel like I'm kissing ass, right?
Yeah.
Like he don't know me that well, I don't know him that well.
Well, that's
but-
just your understanding of his understanding of you.
and I think
he
it's,
has a business relationship
Yep.
with you. He don't give a fuck about
but
you.
but so that's kind of like
Yeah.
that's like bro code, right? Like because if you know him, like you walk by and you're like, "Hey, how you doing?" Like when you make the eye contact.
Well, that's like a man thing. We made a fair deal
Yep.
at one point in our life.
so
How you
it's,
doing?
it's like you know, think of a kid that's been on your kid's baseball team that sat on the other side of the fence, or like you never really met him, but if you walk by him in the grocery store, you'd be like, "Hey, how you doing, man?"
Good example. Yesterday at the ball field, there's this dude. He's not from our town, but he's playing on our travel team this year. I've seen him. I've talked to him a handful of times. Talked to him I think through the first game. We was like 4 or 5 hours in that tournament, and then it just hit me. I was like, "Hey man, I'm Chris, by the way. We actually haven't
Not really formally met.
met." And he's like, "I'm Josh," or whatever the hell your name is. I don't
Yeah,
know. You know, it's something with a J. And
I'm horrible with names.
but I know who he is.
You know more about his.
He's
you
that
know his
kid's
kid.
dad.
Yeah, his kid
He's
did a
that
great
kid's
job.
dad. And if I need him or whatever, I know who. You know,
And he probably has the hardest pressure on the team because like he's the only one that's not from that circle.
Yeah, no, he's kind of cool, like a cucumber. You know, like myself.
So this goes exactly to my point, right? I watched how the interaction between him and the other kids were.
Yeah.
The kids were jiving, man. Like
Yeah.
there's no like you don't go to my school or this whatever.
And it's the
And the
same
kids
thing
just
with like
click.
regular people too, man. Because if you got your head in the clouds or whatever, man, you can live with everybody else up there, but you ain't. I don't care.
As adults though, we lose that something
Most
special.
people do, but
you know,
I have
as a
not
kid,
lost it. I
there's
don't
that
think.
innocence, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's because there's so many pedophiles and fucking
Well-
weird people that we become protective and selective. Like I have trust issues, and I have a rightful reason to have trust issues with people because so many people have fucked me over, right?
And then it goes back to like the walks of life that you led, man. How are you gonna, spend your time with, and who are you gonna give your time to? What
Yeah.
people?
My time's valuable to me and my family, right?
Yeah.
So I have to be careful and selective of who I share that with. But saying hello to people, like we as a society have got
You can
to
be friendly, but I hate the fake friendly. I hate.
see that's that balance, right?
I hate that fake friendly. The day you meet me, and then the day you see me 5 years later, I can almost bet you $1 to a donut hole that it's going to be about the same.
But now when you say you hate friendly, like if you didn't know me,
No, I don't hate friendly. I hate fake friendly.
Okay.
Don't talk to me because you think you have to. You don't have to.
like but if we're sitting next to each other, but hey man, like how you doing today, man? Like hey, your kid's looking good out there.
If we're
Like
at,
that's being
yeah,
friendly.
I appreciate it, man. Which one's your boy?
But being fake friendly is going to be one of those like going above and beyond. Be like,
Your kid did so good. Did you not see him drop the fucking ball 5 times? Don't come to me and lie to me.
be real with me.
Be real with me. Hey,
Yeah.
but what the fuck's going on with your boy? Well, I'd asked you that too last week, Susan. If you'd have fucking, you know what I mean? I'm not the kid. I'm not the guy that sugarcoats the shit. You know, don't come to me and say, well, he gave it his best. No, if he did, he'd have got 8 outs like he did yesterday. You know what I mean? Don't sugarcoat, because you're setting everything up for failure at that point. I automatically say you're full of shit, and you're gonna say whatever you want, whatever you think I want you to say.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Gosh,
Because
really,
I automatically do not trust you, and I do not give a shit about anything else you have to say because it's useless to me.
So do you feel like I give you a lot of fake bullshit?
No,
Okay, good. Just making sure.
no, I don't. I don't at all. I think you overanalyze shit, and then that's
I overanalyze a lot of shit.
No, you do. So if you want me to elaborate on that, is you'll be rambling off some shit, and where I cut you off in my brain without telling you is I'm like, yeah,
you and most people.
Well, I'm like, yeah, he's way the fuck off past, or he's deeper than I give a fuck to go. So you know what I mean? That's fine. That's fair.
You know what's funny? I had a review at work where it was like, dude, you go too deep. I'm like, that's what she said.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you didn't either. I know you didn't either. No, you didn't say that. But there's no sense to be. Everybody poops, man.
We all take shits.
We do. You put your pants on one leg at a time. You either you go left foot first or right foot first. The fuck out of here thinking that that you're gonna fool me. You know what I mean?
Do you feel like there's a pressure of like the kids that you're like who your kid's trying to be friends with forces you to have to be friends with their parents?
Nope.
Or
No.
But you see it though.
I see it, but no, dude. But I also think that's why when people smile at me and people are like, "Hey, Chris, hey," I don't have the bullshit to filter through. Because everybody's like, oh, well, that's the guy that you can't go up to. You know what I mean? Well, we can't tote my briefcase full of bullshit to this guy because it don't work.
You know, one of the struggles I feel I fight with, this is a personal fight, is like I see who like my kid hangs around or who I hang around.
Yeah.
And I don't hang around with many people. I'm gonna say I don't have a lot of tight people I spend time with.
No.
And so my son suffers from that because like, we don't have a lot of friends with kids, right?
Yeah.
Like I have a lot of friends, I have a lot of people, but none of them really have kids that are the same age as my kid.
Yeah.
So we don't spend time with people. Like you'll look on social media, you'll see it a lot where you have a lot of like close friends.
Mm-hmm.
They all have friends of the same age. They all spend time together. They spend like all the time together, right?
No.
And outside of Jaden, like we really don't have anyone else that he spends a lot of time with, you know. So like I drive the circle of his friendship.
That would wear me on because it's like, who's his best friend? Mm-hmm. Because like I'm not. So everybody's like, oh, you can only have one best friend. Fuck off. So they're in the stages of my life. I have had the best friend that I had when I was 9 ain't the best friend that I had when I was 14.
It changes.
So it does. So it's like, who's that one guy that you can really call? And I've asked my son that, you know, it's like when different situations comes up, and I don't think that he has that guy in his mind.
Do you
the
find
camaraderie's disappearing. Is who's my fucking go-to bro? Who is my dude?
So I'm having like this thought in my head. It's like, am I trying to make friends with people that I want my kid to be friends with? Right? Like, do you find yourself like? I have to like careful here because I'm like I'm not gonna go kiss your ass because I want my kid. Like like in our school we have a lot of good kids.
Yeah.
Like we have, and I will like just looking on the outside in.
Yeah.
We have a lot of kids that I'm like these are good kids.
Yeah.
Like these boys and I think because I've coached a lot of them,
and they're fucking well mannered.
We have some good kids.
They're like not. Overall, like as a
and I think
general personality, they are well mannered. They are behaved. There's
only
good fucking kids.
There's a handful of kids, and we probably know who they are. That we're like, I don't want him around that kid.
Yeah,
like
he's gonna spoil him.
And I don't want to be around his parents. I don't want to be around that kid. Now there's some of those kids I like their parents. I don't like the kid.
Yeah.
There's some of them I like the kid, and I don't like the parent.
Yeah.
You know,
and different strokes for different folks. But you know. It goes back to what I just said, man. It's like the hard thing for me is like it's easy for me to separate like adults' perspectives because at some point, like if you're calling yourself an adult, the shit that happened to you at 10 and 12 don't matter no more, dude.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like how you carry yourself's on you. So that being said, a kid doesn't have that perception yet. So it's like, But at the same time, it's like, damn, what all I'm teaching my boy, I don't want his bullshit to rub off on me. It's counterproductive.
But I am also struggling to say, like, man, I feel like I need to be making more friends with people that my kid wants to be around, like some of his friends.
I leave it up to really Jaden, but Jaden's a fucking social butterfly, so don't let me get on those.
You have bonfires every weekend. It's like,
Yeah.
I feel the pressure, like, I'm going to have to start reaching out to people and create relationships with people. Because, like, my kid is he's striving for that social relationship with people.
Is that detrimental, though?
I don't know. I don't want him to be one of those kids that grows up in 10 years later
like my
that he
dad
stays
found
in his
all
room.
my friends, you know what I mean? Or did I go out? So
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, he wants to be friends with people.
Yeah.
Do I need to be creating relationships with their parents so that he has more time to interact on the weekends? And, hey, their parents are coming over, so he comes over. They spend the night. You know what I mean? Like, you have to drive. Are you having to rechange how you make friends now that you have kids?
Are you? Because
I'm early into this.
I don't know, dude. You just kind of open my doors because, like, this happened this past week, and you know, nothing that was awkward about it, but it was just me being the truthful person I am. We had a mom approach me and my wife. Same school, same grade, and I ain't never heard of them before, but whatever, you know, Jaden's living his own life, and I'm just there to guide it.
Right.
I don't want to influence it. I just want to guide it. So they're like, hey, can we exchange numbers and get together? We have sleepovers, and that's fine. But Fridays are off because Fridays are what she pitched, and I'm like, hey, we're at the ball field Saturday. It's sun up, sun down, damn near it.
You can't be out late.
I can't
stay over the night.
Yeah, and I'm
not going to go pick him up at 6 o'clock from your house.
So I was like, hey, baseball season is pretty much out of the question. I'm just telling you now. And they exchange numbers, and whatever comes of that's great. But hey, I done told you. You know, don't ask me on a Friday night.
So you know, you and I both are about to get into this, and I got one of my buddies. His kids got like 6, 8, 10 years older, and he always jokes when we get together. He's like, it's like he's got like this playbook that he's already knows what it's like, and he's over here watching me relive a lot of these moments that he's had to live.
He's like, it's fucked up, ain't it?
Yeah. And then he gets to tell me like, hey, this is what you got to look forward to.
He's like, get a blanket. It helps.
And then he jokes when I get there. Yeah. But it is one of those, like, you know, you find yourself adjusting. Anyway, man, we're about to get to wrap up here, and man, I got a good list of would you rather's here. Let's get into some of these.
Hit me with them.
Would you rather have a weekend completely alone or a weekend full of fun plans?
Fun plans.
It's really.
I can afford them because we planned it, and it's gonna be fun.
So I have to say, like, being alone sounds great, but it gets boring really fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, all right, go ahead.
Would you rather have a best dad friend who lives next door but is way too enthusiastic, or about hanging out, or live around only strangers? You got a best friend next door or strangers around you?
I'll be honest with you. Like, I feel like I live in a neighborhood full of strangers. Nobody wants to fucking be friends. I don't get it. There's kids all over the place.
That's good.
I went to school with one of my neighbors. I never see the guy.
That's good.
I kind of wish I had the cul-de-sac life where it's like there's a constant life, but then again, I'll get into that and be like, I don't know.
No, I gotta disagree on that, man. I'll take strangers.
All right, so would you rather your kid's sport team win every game, but you sit through unbearable parents, or they lose every game, but the parents are fucking awesome? You finish and you drink on that one. That's a tough one, man. Yeah, it's a tough one. I will have to say, when you sit out there for 16 hours, you got to have some fun.
Yeah.
But winning is I hate to see my kid lose. Would you rather your kid's coach never plays them but teaches them life lessons, or would you rather them play them every game but yells at them and doesn't teach them jack squat?
Life lessons, man.
It's important.
That's it. And I think I lean on sports more for that, just because I can't give like my setup right now. I can't give Jaden the one-on-one that my dad gave me with all the work. You know, I was with him a lot, so I can't do that. So sports, you know, that's a good constructive thing.
All right,
are we on 5?
Yep.
All right. Would you rather have a spotless house but never get to relax, or a messy house and always feel calm?
See, I'm tough because I feel like I have a messy house and I never get to relax as it is.
I'm taking the mess.
Have the mess and just get to relax.
I just want the calm. Calm is
I think
what,
maybe that's why my house is a mess because I'm like, fuck it, I just want to relax right
dude,
now.
I can chill anywhere. I don't have to have a good environment.
So would you rather go back to your 20s with your current wisdom, knowing what you know now,
Yep.
or skip to retirement and have like just outstanding financial freedom, like you're just fucking rolling in it?
There's a song by The Faces.
Yeah.
It's a good song. If we didn't have copyright stuff, I would ask you to play it. No, I'm taking I'm leaving my 20s, but I would go back and do it again.
Yeah.
Because I would set up the end result. That would be fine.
Knowing what you know now,
Oh,
you'd be a lot better set.
Easy. And I'd have a lot more safer fun.
Would you rather always have to discipline your kid in public? You know, like you're pushing your cart through like
hate
Walmart,
disciplining my
fucking
kid
kids
in
are screaming
public.
and you're having to discipline them constantly.
I hate it.
Or be perfect angels, but when they get home, they're miserable terrors.
They're miserable terrors at home. I'll take that one.
You
Because
like the
it's not-
perception of like I got my shit under control.
Well, no, I don't like the perception of that. I just hate having to get on my kids and get
It's
those
aggravating.
side eyes by the people who's like, you ain't got control of your fucking kid.
Yeah,
because it just makes me want to be like, fuck you, dude.
You know, you're walking through.
You didn't have control of your fucking kids either, and I know you didn't.
We hit the shopping center up. Like I dropped the wife and the girl off at Ulta. We went to Dick's to get some shoes and take the cup back. We went into a Publix as a team, and I could just see Ashley. She was so stressed out, and I'm over here just calm. But I get home, I'm fucking like, she's getting on my fucking nerves.
No, dude, I freak out in public.
All right, go ahead. Hit me with the last one, man.
Would you rather be the fun parent, but no one takes you seriously, or strict parent, but they respect you? I can answer for you, Cody.
Which one do you think I am? I'm the fun one, ain't I?
Nope.
You think so?
Yep.
You think I'm strict?
Nope.
I'm somewhere in between, ain't I?
Yep.
I like to have fun.
You fall in that gray area.
But you
man.
fucking touch my truck.
Yeah.
You color outside the
He
line.
was like, just lift the bed liner. I'm like, I don't want to fucking do it wrong, Cody.
Well, man, it's been
Empty
fun.
glass.
Glasses
Woo.
are empty.
Yes, sir.
Had a good night. Enjoyed it.
Love it. See you next week.
Woo.
Stay classy. There you go, Ashley.